What if getting rich didn't mean giving up the things you love? Forget the old school advice about skipping your morning coffee or meticulously tracking every dollar. In I Will Teach You to Be Rich, Ramit Sethi offers a refreshingly different approach to money, one that lets you spend guilt-free on what makes you happy while still building real wealth. This isn't another boring finance book filled with complex jargon or outdated tips. Instead, Sethi delivers a practical, no-nonsense system designed for people who want to take control of their money without spending hours budgeting or worrying about every expense. His strategies are rooted in automation, psychology, and smart decision-making, making it possible to grow your wealth effortlessly. Who is this book for? Anyone who wants financial freedom, whether you're drowning in debt, unsure how to invest, or simply looking to optimize your finances. Over the course of this summary, you'll discover the key insights from Sethi's 6-week program, including how to set up a simple automated system that grows your money on autopilot, eliminate debt, and optimize credit cards to work for you, not against you. Invest wisely without needing to be a stock market expert. Spend money guilt-free on what brings you joy while still getting rich. Sethi's philosophy is clear. You don't need to be perfect with money. You just need a system that works. Whether you're just starting out or looking to fine-tune your financial life, these insights will help you design a life where money is no longer a source of stress, but a tool for freedom. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Optimize your credit cards. How to beat the credit card companies at their own game. Let's face it, credit cards are one of the most misunderstood tools in personal finance. Some people treat them like loaded weapons, warning you to stay far away. Others use them recklessly, racking up debt and spiraling into financial chaos. But Ramit Sethi wants you to see credit cards differently. To him, they're powerful weapons, if you know how to wield them right. This chapter is about flipping the script. It's about turning the tables on the credit card companies and using their system to your advantage, not the other way around. The truth about credit cards. First, Ramit tackles the myth. Credit cards are bad. He doesn't deny that credit cards can get you into trouble. But the problem isn't the card, it's how people use it. If you're paying your balance in full each month and staying on top of due dates, credit cards are actually one of the best tools for building wealth. They offer cashback rewards, airline miles, fraud protection, and most importantly, a way to build your credit score, which affects everything from getting a mortgage to renting an apartment to getting a job. Ramit's golden rule: never carry a credit card balance. That's where people get trapped by interest rates north of 20%, late fees, and penalties. So the foundation of all the strategies in this chapter is this. You pay your balance in full every month. No exceptions. Why your credit score matters more than you think. Your credit score is like a financial SAT. It tells lenders how trustworthy you are with money. Here's what your score affects: your ability to get loans or how much interest you'll pay, renting an apartment, car insurance premiums, even job offers. Some employers check credit. There are 5 factors that go into your credit score. Payment history, 35%. Are you paying your bills on time? Amounts owed, 30%. Are you maxing out your credit limits? Length of credit history, 15%. How long have your accounts been open? New credit, 10%. Have you opened a bunch of accounts recently? Types of credit used, 10%. Do you have a mix of credit cards, loans, etc.? Notice that the top 2 factors make up 65% of your score. That means if you always pay your bills on time and don't max out your cards, you're already way ahead. Start with the right credit cards. If you don't have a credit card, Ramit says, get one today. Actually, get 2 or 3 over time, because more cards, used responsibly, can help boost your score and give you better rewards. Here's how he recommends choosing one. Look for rewards that match your lifestyle. If you travel a lot, get a travel card. If you love cashback, go for that. Avoid cards with annual fees, at least at first. Once you're more advanced, you can consider premium cards that offer big benefits. Check for good customer service and online tools. A solid mobile app, automatic payments, and clear statements go a long way. Once you've got your cards, set up these systems from day one. Automatic payments. Pay the full balance every month, not just the minimum. Set up alerts. Get email or text alerts for transactions and due dates. Name your cards. Give each card a job. One for gas, one for groceries, one for travel. This helps you stay organized and rack up specific rewards. Optimize the cards you already have. Already have a few cards? Great! Now Ramit walks you through some powerful optimization moves. 1. Call and ask for a credit limit increase. The higher your available credit, the better your credit utilization ratio, which boosts your credit score. If you've been paying on time and your income has increased, the card issuer is likely to say yes. Just make sure they do a soft inquiry, not a hard one. 2. Ask for your fees to be waived. You'd be surprised what a simple phone call can do. Ramit gives you actual scripts to use like, "Hi, I saw this late fee on my statement. I've been a loyal customer and always paid on time. Can you waive it?" More often than not, the rep will say yes. If not, hang up and try again with another rep. 3. Lower your interest rate. Even if you don't carry a balance, it's good to have a lower APR in case of emergencies. Use this line. "Hi, I'm shopping around for better rates and wanted to see if you could lower my APR." Again, you're more likely to get a yes if you've been a good customer. The credit card myths that keep people broke. Ramit crushes some of the most common myths people believe. Carrying a balance helps your credit. Nope. It actually hurts it and costs you interest. Pay in full. Too many cards hurt your score. Not true if you manage them well. In fact, more cards can improve your score by increasing your total available credit. Closing cards boosts your credit. False again. Closing a card can shorten your credit history and hurt your score. Unless there's an annual fee and you're not using it, keep it open. Real people, real wins. Ramit shares a story of a reader named Emily who had 3 credit cards with over $4,000 in total debt. She followed the advice in this chapter, set up automatic payments, and negotiated her interest rate from 19% down to 11%. Over the next 6 months, she paid off her debt completely and even got a bonus. Her credit score jumped 60 points. Your credit card action steps. Here's what Ramit wants you to do after finishing the chapter. Get your free credit report at annualcreditreport.com. Check for errors and fix them. Pick a good rewards card. If you already have one, evaluate if it's still the best for your lifestyle. Set up automatic full payments. This is non-negotiable. Negotiate fees and interest rates. Use the provided scripts and don't be afraid to be persistent. Track your credit score regularly. Use a free tool like Credit Karma or your bank's app. Don't obsess over credit. Set the system once and let it run. Check in occasionally, but don't let it consume you. The bigger picture. This chapter isn't about becoming a credit card points hacker or spending hours hunting for airline miles. It's about automation, confidence, and control. When you optimize your credit cards, you're not just saving money. You're building a credit history that will unlock opportunities for years. You're telling the credit companies, "I know your game, and I'm not just playing, I'm winning." This is the first brick in the foundation of a rich life. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, but it's powerful. And the best part? It only takes an afternoon to set up. but the rewards last for years. Chapter 2. Beat the banks. Open high-interest, low-hassle accounts, and negotiate fees like an Indian. Let's talk about banks, the institutions that promise to keep your money safe, but often quietly siphon away your hard-earned cash with hidden fees, ridiculous fine print, and 0.01% interest rates. In this chapter, Ramit Sethi pulls back the curtain on the banking system and shows you how to flip the script. His goal: help you ditch your greedy bank and set up a simple, powerful system that grows your money automatically, with no drama and no unnecessary fees. It's not about being a finance wizard. It's about being smart, strategic, and a little scrappy, like an Indian auntie haggling at a street market. Let's dive in. Why most people are getting robbed by their bank. Ramit starts by laying out the reality most people face with their banks. Savings accounts pay almost zero interest. Checking accounts charge you for having an account. You're slapped with overdraft fees, minimum balance fees, transfer fees, and more. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Most Americans don't even realize how much money they're losing to fees each year until they do the math. But here's the kicker: you don't have to put up with it. The bank you choose actually matters. Most people just go with whatever bank their parents use or the one that has a branch nearby. But this is one of the worst financial decisions you can make, according to Ramit. He urges readers to be intentional. Choose a high-interest savings account and a no-fee checking account that actually works for you. Your bank should meet the following criteria: free checking with no minimums, no overdraft fees or easy overdraft protection, free online bill pay, high interest on savings, as of writing 1.5% or more, is decent, good customer service and clean user interface. Ramit's advice: skip the big brick-and-mortar banks altogether. Go online. Online banks like Ally, Capital One 360, or Discover offer higher interest rates and fewer fees because they don't have to pay for physical branches. The power of high-interest savings accounts. If your savings account is earning less than 1% interest, Ramit says you're being scammed. With compound interest, even a small difference, say 0.5% versus 3%, can result in thousands of dollars over the years. He doesn't expect you to become a rate chaser. Instead, just open one solid high-interest savings account, then leave it and forget it, except for automatic contributions. That's how wealth is built, consistently, quietly, over time. The 1-2 punch: checking plus savings. Here's how Ramit wants you to set things up. One checking account for your daily spending and bills. One high-interest savings account for your goals and buffer. Think of checking like your inbox, where your paycheck lands and your bills get paid. The savings account is your vault. It's where you move money automatically for big goals: emergency fund, vacation, wedding, etc. Automation is the secret weapon. Once you've picked the right accounts, automation becomes your best friend. You don't want to rely on willpower or memory to transfer money each month. Instead, set up these automatic flows. Paycheck gets deposited into your checking. A set percentage moves into savings right away. Another portion goes toward investing, 401k, Roth IRA. Bills are paid automatically. You only have to make these decisions once. Then your money system hums along without you lifting a finger. That's how real people build wealth. Why negotiating bank fees is your right, not a favor. Ramit dedicates a good portion of this chapter to something most people never try: negotiating with your bank. You might think that sounds awkward, aggressive, or pointless, but Ramit says it's essential, and he proves it works. He even gives you a script. Here's how it goes. Hi, I saw a $35 overdraft fee on my statement. I'd like to have that waived. If they say no, push back politely, "I've been a customer for X years, and I've never had any issues before. I'd like to have this fee waived." Still no. Ask for a supervisor. Most people cave after the first ask. The key is being firm but respectful, and to act like you expect the fee to be removed, because you should. Ramit's Indian negotiation strategy. Ramit throws in a humorous but useful section on negotiating like an Indian. The point is this: Indians don't blindly accept prices. They question everything. They push back. They expect a better deal. You should too. Why do we negotiate car prices but not monthly banking fees or interest rates? Those recurring costs add up, often far more than you realize. It's not about being cheap, it's about not getting taken advantage of. And if you're polite, persistent, and prepared, you'll usually win. Switching banks is easier than you think. Most people stay with a bad bank because it feels like too much of a hassle to switch. But that's not true anymore. Ramit outlines a 3-step plan to switch banks in under an hour. Open your new checking and savings accounts. Redirect your paycheck and recurring payments. Transfer your money and close the old account. Yes, you'll need to update a few logins, but you only do it once and then you're set for years. The psychology of taking control. This chapter isn't just about banking, it's about mindset. Ramit wants you to stop feeling like a victim of the system and start feeling like you're in control. That's why this chapter matters. It's not just about squeezing an extra 1% out of your savings. It's about taking ownership of your money. When you pick the right accounts and set them to work automatically, you feel empowered, confident, strategic, and that's the real win. Your banking action steps. By the end of the chapter, Ramit wants you to take the following steps. List your current checking and savings accounts. Include fees and interest rates. Find a high-interest savings account. He recommends online options like Ally or Capital One 360. Find a no-fee checking account with free bill pay. Set up automatic transfers from checking to savings. Call your current bank and negotiate any recent fees. If your bank sucks, switch. Don't let laziness cost you hundreds per year. Final thoughts. Play offense, not defense. Most people are defensive about money. They react to fees, they scramble to save, and they avoid looking at their accounts out of fear. But this chapter shows you how to go on offense. You're not just trying to survive anymore. You're setting up a system that works for you. You're not scared of the fine print. You've read it, negotiated it, and optimized it. When your bank accounts are working silently in the background, saving, earning, and paying automatically, that's when you can focus on the things that really matter in life. That's when you stop worrying about money and start living a rich life. Chapter 3. Get ready to invest. Open your 401k and Roth IRA, even with just $50. Most people freeze up when they hear the word investing. It feels overwhelming, confusing, maybe even a little intimidating, like something only rich guys in suits or Silicon Valley founders do. But Ramit Sethi kicks down that mental barrier in Chapter 3 and delivers one clear, powerful message. You don't need to be rich to start investing. You become rich by starting to invest. And you don't need thousands of dollars either. You can get started with $50 right now, today. This chapter is about building your future wealth automatically, painlessly, and with zero stock-picking headaches. Let's break it down. Why you should start now, even if you're broke. Ramit opens with one of the most important money lessons you'll ever hear. Time is your greatest ally when it comes to investing. Even if you don't have a lot of money now, starting early gives you a massive advantage. Why? Because of the magic of compound interest. He walks us through the classic example. Rachel starts investing $100 a month at age 25. She stops at 35 but leaves the money untouched. John starts investing $100 a month at 35 and keeps doing it until 65. Even though Rachel only invested for 10 years and John invested for 30, Rachel ends up with more money, all because she started earlier. That's how powerful time is. Ramit wants to pound that into your head. The earlier you start, the less money you need. The 85% solution. One of the key themes in this chapter and the whole book is what Ramit calls the 85% solution. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to time the market. You don't need to read financial news every day. You just need to get most of it right, and you'll still come out way ahead of everyone who does nothing. Let's talk about retirement accounts. Ramit introduces two main types of investment accounts that every American should consider. 1. 401k, especially if your employer offers a match. A 401k is a retirement account you open through your employer. The money comes out of your paycheck before taxes, which lowers your taxable income. And here's the kicker. If your employer matches a percentage of your contribution, that's free money. Let's say they match up to 3%. That's a 100% return right away. No other investment gives you that kind of guaranteed return. If you're not contributing enough to get the full match, you're leaving money on the table. Ramit says it's like saying no to a bonus. Start with the match, then increase your contributions over time. 2. Roth IRA for everyone, especially if you're young. A Roth IRA is an individual retirement account you open yourself. No employer required. The big difference? You contribute after tax dollars, but then your money grows tax-free. And when you withdraw it in retirement, you pay zero tax on the gains. If you're young and in a lower tax bracket, this is a goldmine. It's like locking in today's low tax rate and never paying taxes on that money again. Where do you open these accounts? For your 401k, it depends on your employer. You'll use whatever provider they've partnered with, usually Fidelity, Vanguard, or something similar. For your Roth IRA, Ramit recommends opening it with a low-cost investment company like Vanguard, Schwab, Fidelity. He breaks it down simply. Open an account online, connect it to your checking, and set up automatic monthly contributions, even if it's just $50 to start. What about stocks, bonds, and funds? Here's where most people get scared. What do I actually invest in once I open the account? Ramit's answer: target date funds. They're simple, low cost, and fully automated. You just pick the fund with the year closest to your retirement date, like 2060 or 2055, and the fund automatically adjusts over time. More stocks when you're young, more bonds as you get older. You don't need to pick individual stocks. You don't need to obsess over the market. Just pick a good target date fund from Vanguard or Fidelity and let it ride. Investing not equal to trading. Ramit makes a big distinction here. Investing is long-term. It's boring. It's consistent. It's what wealthy people actually do. Trading is what most amateurs do. Jumping in and out of stocks, chasing trends, and often losing money. He warns against apps like Robinhood or Reddit-fueled stock hype. That's not real investing. It's gambling with a nicer user interface. What if the market crashes? This is the question everyone asks. Ramit responds with two truths. Yes, the market will crash, probably more than once in your lifetime. It doesn't matter. If you're investing for the long haul, 20, 30, 40 years, those dips are just bumps in the road. In fact, down markets are when you get stocks on sale. The key is to keep investing regularly, no matter what the market is doing. That's called dollar cost averaging, and over time, it beats trying to time the market. Automate it and forget it. Once your 401k and Roth IRA are set up, The next step is to automate your contributions. Ramit's system looks like this. A portion of your paycheck goes directly into your 401k. A fixed amount gets pulled from your checking into your Roth IRA every month. This is crucial. You never see the money, so you never miss it. And you don't have to remember to invest. It just happens. Reader example, Mike, age 24. Ramit shares a story about Mike, who was living paycheck to paycheck and had no idea where to start. After reading this chapter, Mike opened a Roth IRA with Vanguard and started putting in $50 a month. Within a year, he had over $600 saved. But more importantly, he built a habit. 2 years later, he got a raise and bumped his contribution to $150 per month. Today, his retirement account is growing quietly in the background, and Mike feels like he's finally in control of his future. That's the power of starting small, but starting now. Ramit's investment action steps. Here's your to-do list at the end of this chapter. Find out if your employer offers a 401k. If they match contributions, enroll immediately and contribute at least enough to get the full match. Open a Roth IRA with a low-cost provider like Vanguard or Schwab. Set up automatic monthly contributions. Even $50 per month is great. Choose a target date fund and let it ride. Ignore the noise. No checking stock prices, no market timing. Stay consistent. Final thoughts. Your future self will thank you. Investing isn't about spreadsheets or CNBC or knowing what a PE ratio is. It's about creating freedom for your future self. It's about saying, I'm planting a seed now that will grow into a forest of options later. Most people never invest because they think it's too hard or too late. But you've got the tools, the plan, and the system. And remember, $50 is enough. Starting is everything. Chapter 4. Conscious Spending. How to save hundreds per month and still buy what you love. If the word budget makes you cringe, you're not alone. Most people hear it and think restrictions, guilt, sacrifice. They picture spreadsheets, cutting out lattes, and saying no to everything fun. But Ramit Sethi flips the script in Chapter 4. He introduces what he calls the conscious spending plan, a way to take control of your money without becoming a monk. This isn't about depriving yourself. It's about spending extravagantly on the things you love and cutting mercilessly on the things you don't. This chapter is all about building a guilt-free, flexible money plan that aligns with your values and your real life. Why traditional budgets don't work. Let's be honest. Most budgets fail within a month. Why? Because they're based on deprivation. People try to eliminate all fun and then wonder why they can't stick to it. It's like starting a crash diet. You might survive for a few weeks, but the rebound hits hard. Ramit argues that instead of obsessing over every dollar, we should focus on automating essentials, saving and investing first, and spending whatever is left, consciously and without guilt. It's a complete mindset shift, from penny pinching to prioritizing what actually matters to you. Conscious spending versus mindless spending. The average person has no idea where their money goes. They swipe, subscribe, and Venmo without thinking, then wonder at the end of the month, where did all my money go? Ramit's antidote is conscious spending, intentionally choosing where your money goes. Not only does this reduce waste, but it makes spending feel better. Why? Because you're choosing it, not just reacting. He compares it to eating. If you plan for a slice of cake on Saturday night, you enjoy it fully and guilt-free. But if you eat a sleeve of cookies while standing over the sink, you feel gross. Same money, same calories, different experience. The Conscious Spending Plan, CSP. Here's how Ramit breaks it down. Your take-home pay, after taxes, should be divided into 4 categories. Fixed costs, 50 to 60%. Rent/mortgage, utilities, cell phone, student loans, insurance, subscriptions. These are non-negotiables. They happen every month, same time, same amount. Investments, 10%. 401k, Roth IRA, other retirement/investing accounts. This money grows your future. It's non-optional, and it should be automated. Savings, 5 to 10%. Short-term goals, vacation, wedding, emergency fund. Medium-term goals, car, home, kids. Down payments. This is money for your sometime soon goals. Again, automated transfers make this easy. Guilt-free spending, 20 to 35%. Restaurants, coffee, bars, clothes, Netflix, anything that brings you joy. Here's where the magic happens. Ramit wants you to spend freely, as long as the other three categories are already handled. If you want to buy $5 lattes every day, go for it. Just make sure you're hitting your savings and investing targets first. A real-life example. Let's say you take home $4,000 per month. Here's what a conscious spending plan might look like. Fixed costs, 60%, equals $2,400. Investments, 10%, equals $400. Savings, 10%, equals $400. Guilt-free spending, 20%, equals $800. That $800 is yours to blow on whatever you want. No guilt, no judgment. That's what makes this system sustainable. It includes joy, the big wins versus the $3 problem. Ramit stresses the idea of big wins, major money decisions that move the needle. Too many people spend hours trying to save $3 on coffee while ignoring the fact that they're overpaying $300 per month on rent or not contributing to their 401k. Ramit's rule of thumb: focus on high-impact areas first. Rent and housing, negotiating bills and subscriptions, automating savings, choosing the right credit cards, earning more money. If you get those right, you can forget about cutting coupons or saying no to dinner with friends. How to create your own conscious spending plan. Step by step, Ramit walks you through how to build your CSP. Track your last 30 days of spending. Use your bank and credit card statements to see where your money actually goes. Categorize your expenses into fixed costs, investments, savings, and guilt-free spending. Calculate your percentages. Are you over 60% in fixed costs? Under 10% in savings? That's your first clue where to adjust. Make small tweaks. You don't need to overhaul your life. Ramit recommends nudging one category at a time. For example, cancel a subscription and redirect that money into savings. Increase your 401k contribution by 1%. Move your guilt-free spending from 15% to 20% by cutting back on fixed costs. Automate everything. Once you've decided the numbers, make it automatic. That's how you stick with it. The psychology of spending. This chapter goes deeper than spreadsheets. It's about how we feel when we spend. Ramit explains how conscious spending helps break the cycle of guilt, shame, and confusion around money. When you plan ahead to buy that new pair of sneakers or go on that weekend trip, you get to enjoy it guilt-free. That's the difference between being frugal and being cheap. Cheap people cut costs at the expense of joy. Frugal people spend intentionally on things they value. Ramit's reader story: Jen's lattes and lipstick budget. Jen loved designer lipstick and her daily Starbucks runs. Before the conscious spending plan, she felt guilty every time she swiped her card. She kept trying to quit cold turkey and always failed. After using Ramit's plan, she automated her rent, savings, and Roth IRA. Then she set aside $250 per month for guilt-free spending and used it for lattes and lipstick. She still bought what she loved, but this time with intention and zero guilt. And that changed everything. Ramit's conscious spending action steps. Pull up the last 30 to 60 days of your spending. Categorize it into fixed costs, investments, savings, guilt-free spending. Compare your real numbers to Ramit's CSP guidelines. Make adjustments. Cancel unnecessary subscriptions. Lower bills. Raise investments. Automate every category. Set up automatic transfers and bill payments. Start spending consciously. That means asking, does this bring me joy, before each purchase? Final thoughts. Guilt-free joy is the goal. This chapter isn't about cutting spending. It's about aligning your money with your life. Want to spend $400 per month on brunch, cocktails, and Taylor Swift tickets? Awesome. As long as you're saving, investing, and covering your essentials, go all in. That's the beauty of the conscious spending plan. You don't have to choose between being responsible and enjoying life. You get to have both. And that's what living a rich life is really about. Chapter 5. Save while sleeping, making your accounts work together automatically. You've probably been told your whole life to save money, but nobody really explains how, not just in the don't spend sense, but in the mechanical, day-to-day, real-world systems that actually make saving effortless. In Chapter 5, Ramit Sethi gives us the ultimate money hack, automation. This chapter is about setting up a system once and letting it quietly grow your money in the background while you sleep, binge Netflix, or go about your day. Because when it comes to saving and managing money, Ramit's golden rule is, the more you rely on willpower, the more likely you are to fail. But with automation, you win without trying. The problem with manual money management. Most people manage money reactively. You get paid, spend throughout the month, and hope something is left at the end. If there is, maybe you move it to savings, maybe not. If you forget, overspend, or lose track, there goes your plan. Ramit calls this the money comes in, money goes out lifestyle. It's chaotic, unpredictable, and definitely not scalable. He argues that automation is the cure, because when saving and investing are automatic, they actually happen. The automated money flow system. Ramit's system works like a set of pipes moving your money where it needs to go automatically. You set it up once and then you don't touch it. Here's the flow. Your paycheck lands in your checking account, either through direct deposit or manual transfer. A few days later, your checking account automatically sends money to your 401k. This happens before your paycheck hits checking. Your Roth IRA or other investment accounts, your savings account for short-term goals or emergencies, your credit card to pay the full balance, any bills, rent, utilities, subscriptions. What's left is your guilt-free spending money for restaurants, shopping, trips, whatever. It's predictable, it's automatic, it's powerful. The power of timing, why the lag matters. Ramit recommends building a 3 to 5 day buffer between when your paycheck hits and when the transfers happen. Why? Because some banks or employers can delay deposits, or a holiday weekend might shift your pay date. A few days of cushion ensures your transfers don't bounce. Think of it as a timing belt in your financial engine. It keeps the gears moving smoothly. Automating investments, your retirement accounts. Your 401k contributions are already automatic if you set them up through your employer, but you should also automate your Roth IRA or taxable investment account. Here's how. Link your checking account to your Roth IRA via Vanguard, Fidelity, etc. Set up a monthly transfer, say $100 on the 5th of each month. Choose a target date fund so you don't have to manage the investments yourself. Boom! You're investing like a pro without lifting a finger. Automating savings, short-term and long-term. Let's say you want to save for An emergency fund, a trip to Italy, your best friend's wedding. Instead of keeping one lump savings account and losing track, Ramit suggests opening multiple sub-savings accounts, nicknamed for each goal. For example, Italy 2026 trip, emergency fund, MacBook upgrade. Then automate small weekly or monthly transfers to each one. You'll be shocked how fast it adds up and how satisfying it is to see those balances grow. Online banks like Ally or Capital One 360 make it easy to open and nickname multiple savings goals. Automating bills, credit cards, and recurring payments. If you're following Ramit's system, you're using credit cards for most spending to earn rewards and paying them off in full each month to avoid interest. To avoid forgetting, automate your credit card payments in full from your checking account. Same goes for rent, utilities, streaming services, and subscriptions. Set them up on autopay through your bank's bill pay feature or the provider's portal. Pro tip, use calendar reminders or app alerts so you always know when payments are hitting, even if you're not doing anything manually. Handling irregular expenses. You know those once-in-a-while costs that sneak up on you. Insurance premiums, car repairs, holiday gifts, Amazon Prime renewal. These are the ones that usually blow up budgets. So Ramit suggests building invisible savings into your system. Set up a monthly transfer, say $75 per month, to a miscellaneous or yearly expenses savings account. When those random bills come up, you'll be ready. Your first 90 days of automation. Ramit lays out a 3-month blueprint. Month 1, audit and setup. Figure out where your money currently goes. Open high-interest savings and Roth IRA accounts. Link accounts and set up transfers. Month 2, automate. Set your transfers to occur on a schedule, 2 to 5 days after payday. Automate bill pay and credit card payments. Month 3, optimize. Review the system. Adjust savings amounts if needed. Increase 401k or IRA contributions by 1 to 2%. By the end of 90 days, your money should be flowing like a well-oiled machine without you having to lift a finger. Reader's story. Luis and the set it and forget it win. Luis used to live paycheck to paycheck. Saving felt impossible. But after reading this chapter, he opened a Roth IRA, split his savings into 3 sub-goals, and automated $25 into each one monthly. Within 8 months, he'd saved enough for his sister's wedding trip and built a $1,000 emergency fund without feeling any pain. Why? Because he never had to remember to do it. The system did the work. Ramit's automation action steps. Set up direct deposit into your checking account. Choose your target dates for all transfers, usually 2 to 3 days after payday. Automate your 401k and slash or investment account contributions. Open a high-interest savings account and nickname your goals. Automate transfers into each savings goal. Automate credit card and bill payments. Check in monthly to fine-tune the system, but don't obsess. Final thoughts. The system is the solution. Automation isn't about being lazy, it's about being smart. Ramit's goal isn't for you to become a personal finance robot. It's for you to set up a system that handles your money so you can get back to living your life. This system lets you do the hard work once and reap the rewards forever. When your bills are paid, your savings are growing, and your investments are compounding, all without your input. You're not just managing money, you're mastering it. And that's how you build a rich life. On autopilot. Chapter 6. The Myth of Financial Expertise. Why professional wine tasters and stock pickers are clueless, and how you can beat them. Imagine this. A group of professional wine tasters is given 2 identical glasses of wine. One is labeled as a $10 bottle, the other as a $90 vintage. Almost all of them rave about the premium one. But guess what? They're the same wine. This isn't just a funny party trick, it's a powerful metaphor for how most people invest and why Ramit Sethi is calling BS on so-called financial experts. Chapter 6 is about dismantling the myths that surround investing. The myth that you need a financial advisor to get rich. The myth that stock picking is a skill. The myth that more activity equals more success. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Why most financial experts are full of it. Let's start with the big claim. Most experts don't beat the market, period. Ramit pulls back the curtain on financial advisors, stock pickers, and investment gurus who appear on TV wearing expensive suits and spouting jargon. The truth? Most mutual fund managers don't beat the market. Most advisors are incentivized to sell you products, not grow your wealth. Most people mistake confidence for competence. And worse, they charge high fees for underperformance. Ramit's point is this: the data doesn't lie. Even professional investors who are paid millions of dollars can't reliably beat the market over time. So what chance does your cousin Greg have trading penny stocks from his iPhone? Instead of trying to find the next hot stock or genius fund manager, just skip the drama and invest in low-cost index funds. Investing is not about timing the market. Timing the market sounds smart, right? I'm waiting for the next dip. It's too volatile right now. I'll buy when prices drop a bit. Ramit calls this out for what it is: procrastination with a spreadsheet. He explains that time in the market beats timing the market every single time. Here's the math. If you invested $10,000 in the S&P 500 in 1980 and held it until 2020, you'd have around $700,000. If you missed just the 10 best days in that 40-year period, your return drops by nearly half. Why? Because the best days in the market often come right after the worst ones, and you'll never predict when those days are. The financial media trap. Ramit doesn't hold back when it comes to financial media. He says it's not about education, it's about entertainment. Talking heads on CNBC and YouTube try to make you feel urgent, uncertain, and emotional. Why? Because fear and FOMO, fear of missing out, drive clicks, and clicks drive ad revenue. But guess what doesn't drive long-term wealth? Emotion-based decisions. He shares a great analogy. Following the market daily is like stepping on a scale every hour. It won't help you lose weight, it'll just drive you insane. Instead, Ramit wants you to set your investments, automate them, and ignore the noise. Why index funds are the smartest investment. So what's the alternative to stock picking and market timing? Index funds. These are simple, low-cost funds that track the entire market, like the S&P 500. They require no active management, charge super low fees as little as 0.04%, consistently outperform the majority of actively managed funds over time. Ramit calls index funds the bread and butter of your investment plan. They're boring, predictable, and incredibly effective. When you invest in an index fund, you're not betting on one company, you're betting on the entire economy. It's like owning tiny pieces of hundreds of companies at once. If one fails, others will rise. The true cost of high fees. Most people ignore fees when choosing where to invest. Big mistake. Ramit runs the numbers. If you invest $100,000 in a fund charging 1.5% in fees, over 40 years you'll pay more than $500,000 in fees. That's half your gains. Gone. Now compare that to a low-cost index fund charging 0.1%. Your total fee cost over the same period, less than $50,000. Same market, same timeline. But one decision, choosing a low-cost fund, leaves you hundreds of thousands of dollars richer. Why doing less makes you more. It sounds counterintuitive, but Ramit makes a compelling case. When it comes to investing, the less you do, the more you make. He urges readers to stop trying to optimize their portfolio every week, stop watching market trends, stop chasing crypto headlines. Instead, pick a target date fund or a mix of index funds. Set a monthly automatic investment. Let it grow for 30+ years. This is the strategy used by the real millionaires next door, not the flashy guys renting Lamborghinis on Instagram. Reader story: How Paul Outsmarted the Smart Guys. Ramit shares the story of Paul, a 32-year-old teacher who used to watch CNBC every day and tried to mimic what analysts said. He traded tech stocks, got burned in crypto, and felt constantly anxious. After reading Ramit's advice, Paul moved everything into 2 index funds, automated his monthly investments, and stopped checking his portfolio every week. 2 years later, Paul's returns beat every expert he followed, and he slept like a baby. Ramit's action steps to ditch the financial experts. Stop watching financial news. Unfollow those market prediction YouTube channels. Say no to stock picking tips from friends, co-workers, and Reddit threads. Choose a low-cost investment provider like Vanguard, Schwab, or Fidelity. Invest in index funds or target date funds. Keep it simple. Automate your contributions monthly. Set it and forget it. Review once or twice a year, not daily. Final thoughts. You are your best financial advisor. Here's the truth Ramit wants you to walk away with. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to beat the market. You don't need someone else managing your money for a 1% fee. What you do need is a system that works in the background, built on data, not hype. Financial experts, just like wine tasters, can be fooled by labels, noise, and marketing, but the numbers don't lie. When you invest simply, consistently, and patiently, you win. That's how ordinary people build extraordinary wealth. No suit, no crystal ball, just quiet, consistent action. That's how you become rich. Chapter 9. A Rich Life: The Finances of Relationships, Weddings, Buying a Car, and Your First House. Money isn't just numbers in a spreadsheet. It's tied to love, fear, freedom, and identity. In Chapter 9, Ramit Sethi zooms out from all the automations, accounts, and investments to answer one essential question. What does your rich life actually look like? Because the ultimate goal of money isn't saving more or investing better. It's to live a life filled with meaning, joy, and intention. Whether it's flying first class, retiring early, taking care of your parents, or buying that dream home, this chapter is about aligning your money with your life. And in particular, it dives into 4 major areas where people get stuck, emotional, or totally lost: relationships, weddings, cars, and home ownership. What is a rich life? Let's start with Ramit's definition. A rich life is yours to define. It might mean never worrying about money again, being able to say yes to dinner with friends without checking your bank balance, buying a $400 cashmere sweater guilt-free, flying your family home for the holidays every year, donating 10% of your income to causes you believe in. There's no universal checklist. Ramit insists, a rich life is living life on your terms, whatever that looks like for you. But to get there, you have to know what you want. So before diving into technical tips, he encourages you to visualize what your rich life looks and feels like. Write it down. Make it specific. The finances of love and relationships. Money is one of the top causes of stress in relationships. It's not just about how much you earn, it's about how you talk about money, share responsibilities, and navigate different beliefs and habits. Ramit offers a framework for discussing money with your partner, especially early in a relationship. Be curious, not judgmental. Ask how they learned about money. What did their parents model? What scares them? What excites them? Don't combine finances too early. Ramit recommends waiting until you're in a serious long-term relationship, marriage, living together, shared future plans, before merging accounts. Use the CEO and COO method. One person handles the logistics, bill pay, investing. The other supports the big picture. Split responsibilities based on strengths, not tradition. Have monthly money dates. Once a month, check in together. Celebrate wins. Adjust plans. Talk about your goals, not just the bills. Most importantly, he says, be transparent. Hiding debt, avoiding conversations, or winging it are guaranteed to create resentment. Your relationship is a team effort, and money is a big part of the game plan. Weddings without going broke. The average American wedding costs over $30,000. That's absurd. Ramit offers a refreshing take. Spend as much as you want on your wedding, as long as it aligns with your rich life. If you've dreamed of a $100,000 black tie event, go for it. Just plan and save. If you want a courthouse ceremony and spend that money on a honeymoon to Bali instead, also great. The key is intentionality, not guilt, not pressure, not Instagram envy. Tips for wedding planning. Create a rich life wedding plan with your partner. What truly matters to you both. Decide how much you're willing to spend and start saving early. Ignore what others expect. Spend on your priorities, music, venue, food, and cut on the rest, matching napkin colors, party favors. Use a dedicated wedding savings account to avoid debt. Skip the one-day extravaganza mindset. Invest in the marriage, not just the day. Buying a car without getting played. Cars are emotional purchases, status symbols, freedom machines, family haulers. But they're also depreciating assets, and many people waste thousands on them. Ramit breaks it down clearly. Buy used whenever possible. New cars lose value the moment you drive off the lot, up to 20% in the first year. Do the math. Factor in insurance, gas, maintenance, and depreciation, not just the sticker price. Negotiate like a pro. Research the fair price, walk in with a number, and don't be afraid to walk away. Pay in cash if you can. If you finance, keep the loan short-term with low interest. And don't treat monthly payments like a budget benchmark. Just because you can afford $600 per month doesn't mean you should. Forget the luxury trap. A BMW doesn't make you more successful. It just costs you more to maintain. Ramit's bottom line. A car should get you from point A to B safely, affordably, and without draining your rich life fund. The house. Dream or trap? The American dream, the house with the picket fence, the mortgage, the $500,000 in hidden costs? Ramit doesn't hate home ownership, but he wants you to go in with eyes wide open. Here's what most people don't realize. Owning a home is not always better than renting. There are massive hidden costs, taxes, maintenance, insurance, repairs, closing fees. You often lose flexibility in lifestyle, location, and even job opportunities. So when does buying a home make sense? You've got a stable income and plan to stay for at least 10 years. You've saved at least 20% down and have an emergency fund left after closing. You've done the math on total monthly cost, not just mortgage payments. You actually want to be a homeowner, not because it's what adults do. Ramit emphasizes that renting is not throwing money away. Renting can be smart, freeing, and totally aligned with a rich life, especially if you invest the difference. If you do decide to buy, get pre-approved. Shop around for mortgages. Don't buy the maximum the bank will loan you. Buy what fits your plan. Reader story. The Rich Life of Rachel and Dan. Rachel and Dan were both making six figures, but they constantly argued about money. Rachel was a saver, Dan was a spender. They felt like they weren't doing enough financially. After working through their values using Ramit's Rich Life framework, they realized they were living their dream. Frequent travel, a cozy rented apartment, maxed out Roth IRAs, and no debt. They stopped comparing themselves to others, planned a $15,000 destination wedding in Italy with cash, and committed to their version of success, not someone else's. That's what a rich life looks like. Authenticity, clarity, joy. Ramit's action. Steps for a rich life. Define your rich life. Write down what you truly want money to do for you, big and small. Schedule a money date with your partner. Talk about money stories, goals, fears, and dreams. Plan any big purchases intentionally. For weddings, create a joint vision, budget, and savings plan. For cars, research total cost, not just monthly payments. For homes, run the full numbers, not just rent versus buy memes. Decide what you want to splurge on. What brings you joy? This is the final recap of Ramit Sethi's I Will Teach You to Be Rich. Let's review the key lessons. Chapter 1. How to beat credit cards at their own game. Learn how to master credit cards to build your credit score, earn rewards, and never pay a cent in interest or fees. Chapter 2. Ditch greedy banks and win. Switch to high-interest savings, no-fee checking, and learn how to negotiate like a boss to keep more of your money. Chapter 3. Start investing today, even if you're broke. Why investing early, even with $50, matters more than investing a lot later. Ramit simplifies the Roth IRA, 401k, and compound interest. Chapter 4. The Conscious Spending Plan. Create a money plan that lets you spend guilt-free on the things you love, while still saving and investing like a pro. Chapter 5. Save while you sleep. Automate your finances so your money flows to bills, savings, and investments without effort and without relying on willpower. Chapter 6. The Truth About Financial Experts. Why stock pickers, media pundits, and most advisors don't beat the market, and how low-cost index funds make you the expert. Chapter 7. Build a simple portfolio in one afternoon. Set up your long-term investment strategy using 3 to 4 index funds or a target date fund. No stress, no guesswork. Chapter 8. Maintain and optimize your system. You've built the machine. Now learn how to keep it running with one quick monthly check-in and a yearly rebalance. Chapter 9. Define and live your rich life. Use your money to fuel the life you want, whether that's weddings, relationships, cars, or home ownership on your terms. Final takeaway: you're in control now. Money is no longer a mystery. You've built the plan. Now it's time to live your rich life, confidently, joyfully, and with intention. Conclusion, and there you have it, the no-nonsense, action-packed blueprint from I Will Teach You to Be Rich. This isn't just another personal finance book. It's a bold invitation to take control of your money, automate your life, and finally live on your terms. Remember, living a rich life isn't about being frugal or cutting every expense. It's about knowing what you value, spending intentionally, and creating a system that grows your wealth in the background without constant effort or stress. So, what's your next step? Maybe it's opening that high-interest savings account. Maybe it's setting up your first automated investment. Or maybe it's finally having that honest money conversation with your partner. Whatever it is, start today. Because the sooner you build your system, the sooner you get to enjoy the freedom it brings. If this episode gave you a new perspective, I'd love to hear from you. What was your biggest takeaway? What does your rich life look like? Drop a comment, share this with a friend, or send me a message. I want to hear your story. And if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another episode that helps you master your money and design a life you love. Until next time, spend intentionally, automate everything, and build your rich life, one step at a time.